All right, Algebra 1A students. Welcome to your video on Lesson 3.2. In this video, we're going to be solving some inequalities, inequalities that have something attached to our variable that we have to get rid of. Okay. The good news for us is this process in this video of solving inequalities is exactly identical in this video to what we did back in Chapter 2 when we were solving equations. Okay, so when we solved equations, we were solving equations like x minus 5 equals 7. Right, and we know in order to solve this, we would just add 5 on both sides. Add 5 on both sides, and we get x equals 12, right, of course. So the process when we solve an inequality is exactly identical to that. If you have something subtracted from your exponent, you just add it to both sides. If you have something added onto your exponent, you just subtract it from both sides, okay? So we'll look at a couple examples here, but this should be a pretty quick and short video because, like I said, this process is exactly the same as it was for equations, except now we have inequality symbols instead, okay? So if you're given this inequality, x minus 15 is greater than negative 12, the first thing we have to notice is that x is being subtracted by 15. So it's x minus 15 on one side of my inequality sign now. So I want to get the x alone, which means I have to get rid of the minus 15. I'll do that by adding 15 on both sides. Add 15, add 15. Right? We know this cancels out, and that's gone. So all I'm left with is x on that side. My symbol is greater than, and then on the other side I have negative 12 plus 15. Negative 12 plus 15 gives me a positive 3. So my inequality when I solve it now says x is greater than 3. And then they also want me to graph the solutions, which means make a number line, and then make a graph for this inequality. So here I will put 3, here I'll put 4, here I'll put 2. Now this should be an open circle because there is no equal to line, so I'll put an open circle right there at 3. I want my x numbers bigger than that, so the arrow is going to point this way. Okay, arrow's pointing this way. All right. I have one for you to try here. I'd like you to find the solutions of this inequality. N minus 5 is less than negative 3. Once you solve that for n and get n all by itself, then graph the solutions. Pause the video for a second, do that problem, come on back and I'll show you what we should have. Should end up with n is less than 2 when we add 5 on both sides. Okay, and then we can just take a number line again, mark off a 2 in the middle, this will be a 1, that's a 2, this will be a 3, and then again I want an open circle because there is no equal to sign here, open circle. I want my n's to be less than now, so I will go left, left for less than. Okay, so that's how we can solve an inequality by adding the same number on both sides. Again, we're just trying to undo the minus 5 or the minus whatever number it is. Okay. We can also do the same if we have a variable plus some number. Okay, variable plus some number. In this case, t plus 6. T plus 6 is greater than negative 4. They want us to solve that. Find the solutions and graph them. Okay. So if I want to get rid of a plus 6, I have to subtract 6 on both sides. Minus 6 there, minus 6 there, and I end up with t is greater than negative 4, take away 6 is negative 10. T is greater than negative 10. And again, they want me to graph the solution, so I'll make a number line here. I'll mark off negative 10. I'm in the negatives, so one lower than that is negative 11. One higher than that is negative 9. Again, I don't have an equal to sign, so I'm going to put an open circle. I want my t's greater, which means I'm going to the right, up towards 0 this way. Okay. I got another one for you to try here. I'd like you to find the solutions of this inequality. Negative 1 is greater than or equal to y plus 12. So get the y all by itself, write that inequality, and then graph it on a number line, if you would please. Pause the video there for a second, and then once you have that solved, come on back and I'll show you what we should have. All right, we should end up with the inequality negative 13 is greater than or equal to y. So I will put in my equal to line there, and now graph this on a number line. So my boundary point is now negative 13. Again, because I'm in the negatives, up 1 is going to be negative 12, down 1 is going to be negative 14. And then I finally have an equal to sign on this inequality, which means at negative 13, I'm going to have a filled in circle, a filled in dot, totally filled in, fully black dot. And now my variable is actually not being eaten by my Pac-Man, so I know my variable is less. So I want my variable values, my solutions here, to actually be less than this negative 13 that the Pac-Man's eating. So when it's less than, I'm going this way. Okay. If you have any questions about solving inequalities using addition or subtraction to get the variable by itself and then graphing, please make a note to ask me in class tomorrow. Otherwise, that's all I have for you. Have a wonderful night.